I love torturing myself. I don't know what it is. I just love putting myself through hell and back just for the thrill of it, really. Just to list a few things that I have outrageously pulled for the sake of my own entertainment and putting my own health at risk. I have pulled 3 all-nighters in the course of a week, and I have also skipped most of my meals for the course of said week, and I have also spent nearly 30 hours on my phone just on half of that week by itself. But fortunately, I have come to the conclusion that I know for a fact that I am not the only one dancing with the devil himself going through this misery, because it is most likely that you are going through it too. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the devil himself, the root of my problems, and most likely yours: virtual media. You see, it's not hard, right, to differentiate whether what's good and bad media these days. It's basically drilled into our heads since we were children. So let's just run through it real quick. Public news, good media. Pornography, bad media. Children's movies, good media. Violent movies, bad media. So you see, this doesn't apply to everybody, but it's how the general view towards what good and bad media is generally publicly. So you're probably thinking, well, then we know what good and bad media is. We know what we should and shouldn't, and what's healthy and unhealthy for us to consume. Correct? So we know what's going on, right? Wrong. You don't. Because although the type of media that you are consuming is essential towards your health, the main root and cause of the problem of your health repercussions due to media isn't from what type of media you are consuming. It comes from how you consume the media as a viewer, how you turn something so mindless and fickle to something endangering to your health. So let's take a look at how our brain reacts to media first, right? Let's take an easy example. Movies and TV shows, something that we all know and love. And how our brain reacts to TV shows and movies is that when you're watching your favorite ones and what's really, really good, like a TV show, movie that you really like, your brain produces this chemical called dopamine. And when you're binge watching, it's easy, right, to fall into a binge watching mentality when you're watching TV shows and movies. When you're binge watching it, your brain continuously produces dopamine, which will put your body through a drug-like high, and it will cause a pseudo addiction to binge watching. According to Dr. Renee Carr herself, she said that the neuronal pathways to heroin addiction is the same as those to binge watching. And your brain doesn't discriminate towards pleasure. It can become addicted to anything, any substance, any activity that continuously and consistently produces dopamine. And you're probably thinking, well, I mean, it's TVs and movies. Of course, it has a compelling storyline. It has stories and all of these stuff. But that's exactly it. Your brain loves stories. It loves stories and storylines and storytelling. It loves all of that kinds of stuff. What you don't know is that these effects apply to every single media there is. Music, news, web novels, web comics, everything. Because the media is telling you a story, whether it's that murder case you've been seeing on your timeline, whether it's that scandal that you've been seeing on television, or that Twitter drama that you have been following on social media. They're all telling you a story, whether it's your favorite song even. It tells you a story. And because your brain loves these stuff, it can learn to become addicted to it. And recent studies show that there has been a new disorder called an internet addiction disorder, and it is a real disorder. It's also called IAD. What IAD does to your body is that it can cause tremors, nausea, and anxiety. And a lot of researchers have actually compared IAD, internet addiction disorder, to nearly analogous to substance abuse. And it's easy and common for people to take high dosage of media because they're looking for refuge, looking for stress relievers, and it's easy to be addicted to it. And when you become addicted to it, it's common for you to neglect your friends, your family, your responsibilities, and all the normal things that you used to do. You forget to eat, you forget to stand up, you forget how long you have been staring at your phone for. And of course, these kinds of mentality of consuming this much media, especially during this time, is completely unhealthy towards not just your mental health, but your physical health as well. And it's unfortunate that it's unstoppable. You can't force people to stop consuming media. You'll seem like a hypocrite. Hell, I seem like a hypocrite. I talk about the extremes of consuming media when I have literally spent 10 hours during a day reading webcomics. So what can you do? Like, what can you do? What's the least that we can do to live a healthier life while consuming media? Because we do need media. It's just that little bit of self-control, really. It doesn't take much. It's just self-control. But it's so hard. It's so easy. Well, not easy. It is so simple, but it is so hard to achieve because self-control takes willpower and determination to actually change. If you don't have determination and the willpower to change, you will not live a healthier life. You can start small by taking breaks. Yeah, by taking breaks from looking at your phone and talking to your friends, getting a hobby, getting a new activity to go on to break this vicious media cycle. But if you don't have the willpower and you don't have the capacity and determination to change, you're not going to change. So it just takes a little bit of self-control and practice to change that unhealthy habit and unhealthy lifestyle to a less unhealthy one. So the next time you think about staying up till 3 a.m. to read or to watch or to do anything concerning the media, think about the health repercussions and harms that you're putting yourself through. Think about how you're putting your health at risk for the pleasures and fleeting moments of that extra 5 hours on your phone instead of a good night's sleep. My name is Gabby. Thank you so much for listening.